we're going to talk about a topic that not everybody really even has a good understanding about, and that is investing in residential real estate or investment real estate using funds from your IRA or from your retirement account. First question for you, Mike, is can you use any IRA or 401k to invest in real estate, or does it have to be a special kind?
Well, the term self-directed IRA is kind of misleading. There's really no difference from one IRA to the next. The only difference is what the custodian will allow the IRA to own. You know, your Fidelity, Schwab's, Merrill Lynch's, Vanguard's are only going to allow your IRA to hold publicly traded stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. So, yes, any IRA can be used for real estate. They would need to open up an account at a custodian that allows for real estate, and they just transfer the money from one IRA to the next. There's no penalties, no taxes. 401ks, if it's a previous 401k, it can be transferred to fund a traditional IRA. But if it's your current 401k, you're likely not going to be allowed to use any of those funds until you're separated from employment, or at least you reach 59 and a half years old. So I tell people to check with their current 401k administrator for what's called a partial in-service rollover. I want to take part of my money in service while I'm still working there and roll it into an IRA.
And is that allowed?
IRA is definitely it is allowed. There's certain IRS triggers, but they want to check if they're still employed there. The chances are they're not going to be able to touch those 401k funds or TSP or pension. All these old employer plans, can be moved into a traditional IRA.
Well, let's walk through and use an example. I had a client not too long ago. His name, I say not too long ago, over a year ago. His name is Bob. He had an IRA, had $140,000 in it. It was in a self-directed IRA. I think he had just been making his own decisions for investments in the stock market, but he decided that he wanted to, in his words, supercharge his return on his IRA. So he gave us a call. Fortunately, I had some experience with this, so I understood it just a little bit, and he wanted to buy a property that was about $220,000. Now, he was able to use the 140, although I don't think they would let him use everything. I think he had to keep some reserves in there, and then he borrowed money for the difference. So can you kind of walk everybody through what happens in Bob's specific situation? How does that work?
Okay, so there are rules, and for those of you out there that are looking for seeing the rules in writing, you can Google IRS Tax Code Section 4975, and right there it's going to tell you what are the rules. One of the rules are you are a disqualified person to your IRA, so Bob would not have been able to use his IRA funds as a down payment on a real estate transaction. However, what Bob could do, he has two options. Bob could open an account at a custodian like Accuplan and have his funds transferred over. He'd be a buyer on the contract. His IRA would actually be a buyer on the contract and a borrower of a non-recourse mortgage for the difference. Or there would be two buyers on the contract. One would be his IRA, and then he or someone else could be buyer number two to get to the finish line. But the IRA would have to have ownership or be buying something for the funds. It couldn't be used as collateral in a mortgage.